Every single time that a Republican president has been in office, they have ran on cutting the deficit. And every single time a Republican president has been in office, they have raised the deficit, because Republicans run on cutting spending and cutting entitlement programs, but the very people that vote for them are the people that take advantage of those programs. Social Security, Medicare, welfare, and food stamps. All right, guys, here we go. This is something that I've been talking about for quite a while on this show, and that is that House Democrats and just Democrats in general have a really hard time with messaging. There's so much in Joe Biden's presidency that has been done that has not been communicated very well by Biden or by anybody else within the party. But today, Hakeem Jeffries actually did an amazing job. He did something that we need to see and we need to do more often. And that is, he got up there and he told every single person exactly what the Democrats did. So check out this clip.
Democratic leader Hakeem Jeffries is now speaking following the House passing that short-term government spending agreement. Let's listen to what he has to say.
Good evening, everyone. House Democrats have successfully funded the government at levels requested by President Biden in order to meet the needs of the American people in terms of their health, safety, and economic well-being. House Democrats have successfully fought for families, farmers, first responders, and the future of working-class Americans. House Democrats have successfully fought for $100 billion in disaster assistance in order to make sure that those everyday Americans whose lives have been turned upside down in terms of hurricanes, storms, tornadoes, wildfires, floods, and other extreme weather events can get the assistance that they need to address the problems they've been confronting. House Democrats have successfully stopped extreme MAGA Republicans from shutting down the government, crashing the economy, and hurting working-class Americans all across the land. House Democrats have successfully stopped the Billionaire Boys Club, which wanted a $4 trillion blank check, by suspending the debt ceiling in order to enable them to cut Social Security, cut Medicare, and cut nutritional assistance while providing massive tax breaks for the wealthy, the well-off, and the well-connected. This is a victory for the American people. We have successfully advanced the needs of everyday Americans, but there are still things to be worked on, and we look forward to that fight in the new year. Happy holidays.
Now that is what I'm talking about. Good job, Hakeem Jeffries, because Democrats as a whole need to start pointing out every single time that Republicans do what Republicans always do. And that is that they stand up there and they say that they stand for the people. They're going to make life better again. They're going to make America great again. But what they're constantly leaving out is when they're talking about making life better or making America better, they're talking about doing it for billionaires, millionaires, oligarchs. But they're not talking about doing it for you or me. And this is a tale as old as time. This is nothing new. This is the same thing that Republicans do every single time, whether it's George Bush or Ronald Reagan or Donald Trump. The story is always the same. They get massive tax cuts. Corporations get regulations cut. The environment is put at risk, and you foot the bill. There is a reason that they want to eliminate the debt ceiling. And believe me, it's not to rein in government spending. The things that they took out of this bill so that way they could pass it were things like recovering food stamp money that was stolen from people that were getting social safety nets like food stamps. It called for a series of changes to pharmacy benefit managers that needlessly increased the prices of drugs to people that need them. It intended to curb junk fees from people like hotels and ticket sellers that add unneeded service charges onto them. It called for criminalizing some deepfakes that could be used in things like revenge porn. It called for restrictions on investment in China, which supposedly is everything that these people want to do. They talk about it endlessly, ad nauseum. But most importantly, they took out $190 million for children's cancer research. It would have funded 10 years worth of cancer research for children. Now, luckily, people did become aware of this because of people like Hakeem Jeffries, and they are passing a standalone bill by itself to fund that cancer research. But have no doubt that if it wasn't for people like you, people like Hakeem Jeffries, people making this a huge deal for people in the Republican Party, that bill would have been dead on arrival and no one would have known any better about it. Thank Lord Baby Jeebus for Hakeem Jeffries for doing stuff like he does in this clip right here.
House Republicans have abandoned that bipartisan agreement that we entered into in good faith. A bill that House Republicans negotiated. Gave us your word that we were going to move forward together on behalf of the American people. It was a Republican drafted bill that was posted by House Republicans. And then one or two puppet masters weigh in, and the extreme MAGA Republicans decide to do the bidding of the wealthy, the well-off, the well-connected, millionaires and billionaires, not working class people. Now, what's been interesting to me is that for decades, the Republican Party has lectured America about fiscal responsibility, about the debt and the deficit. It's always been phony. This bill proves it. The one thing we do know is that every time a Republican president comes into office, the one thing we can count on Republicans to do is to pass a massive tax cut for wealthy Americans, and in the process, stick working class Americans with the bill by raising the deficit and the debt. That's what happened in the 1980s when Ronald Reagan was president. The biggest thing that he did was pass a massive tax cut for the wealthy and the well-off, paid for by working families and middle-class folks all across the country. Didn't do anything for middle-class Americans. Didn't do anything to stimulate the economy. This whole notion of trickle-down economics. Come to the conclusion that trickle-down economics simply means that middle-class families, that working-class Americans may get a trickle, but they're guaranteed to stay down.
Exactly. Down. Down without hope, down without education, and down without a voice. Every single time that a Republican president has been in office, they have ran on cutting the deficit. And every single time a Republican president has been in office, they have raised the deficit because Republicans run on cutting spending and cutting entitlement programs, but the very people that vote for them are the people that take advantage of those programs. Social Security, Medicare, welfare, and food stamps. So it's up to every liberal, every progressive, and every Democrat to point out over and over and over again that once again, Republicans have won the office by lying to you, telling you that they're going to solve the deficit problem, and that once again, they're just going to increase it. All right, guys. Well, you guys let me know what you guys think about this. And remember, you have a voice, and you should use it. Love you guys. Appreciate you guys. And I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, please like and subscribe and hit that notification bell. And check out that video on the screen now.